The 49ers take care of business 37-24. They now have a 10-4 record. The playoffs keep getting closer and closer for San Francisco. Brock Purdy with another great game. Ricky Pearsall showed what he can do. This is 49ers Postgame Live, brought to you by Toyota. Rod Brooks, Matt Mayoko, Tom Rathman. I'm Carlos Ramirez. You said, Matt, the offense needs to bring it today. They put up 37 points.
Yeah, absolutely. The offense going up against one of the worst defenses in the league, and they capitalized on that. Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, still haven't seen that running game get consistent, but Brock Purdy in the passing game was very good. On the other side, the 49ers defense, a lot to tighten up.
Yeah. Tom?
Well, they're getting ready to go to the playoffs. 10 wins usually get you in.
Yep.
And, I thought the quarterback played outstanding today. And then it was good to see Ricky Pearsall with some targets.
Yep.
So excellent game by the first half. Second half was a different tell.
And it's also good to see Ricky smiling in that clip we just saw going off the field, considering when we saw him during the game, he was going into the blue medical tent. But I'm going to be that guy. The result's great, but to me this feels like the Panthers game. Well, the result was fine, but the Niners played a better team. This game would have been tighter, or they would have lost it. And specifically the defense, and specifically the run defense. But not only that, they had coverage busts on the back end. There were 3 of them. 2 of them led to touchdowns. And if it weren't for a missed throw at the end of the first half, it might have been 3 of them for touchdowns. You're going to start to see better teams now with the Colts. And yes, Phillip Rivers almost pulled it off. Obviously with the Bears and with the Seahawks, better teams are going to take advantage of those Niners' disappointments defensively.
Let's go out to Levi Stadium with our 49ers reporter, Jennifer Lee Chan, live from the home of the 49ers. Jennifer, welcome to the show. Let's talk about Ricky. What did you see from today's performance from number 1?
I mean, this is a game where we thought he was finally going to have some stats, but Kyle Shanahan said it's not about the stats. It's how well he's playing when the ball is not in his hands, and so it finally paid off for him today. Tons of receptions, and although he scared everybody, I think, a little bit, coming up gimpy a couple times, he was laughing and smiling, like Rod said, at the end of the game, so he is healthy and should be back for another regular game next week.
The defense gave up some big plays also, Jennifer, 2 drop interceptions. Your overall take on the defense today?
I mean, the defense has to play better. I think this was a perfect situation for the 49ers defense to kind of get a check, right? Okay, we're not as effective as we have been in the past. We need to be tighter. We need to get better. There were a couple plays where I saw a complete swarm to the defense. So like 9 hats in the frame, which is good, but it needs to be more consistent. So this is a good checkup game for them after coming off the bye. A little bit of rust. Now they can really hone in and get focused on stopping Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts.
How about Jauan Jennings, Jennifer? Another great game for him, 2 touchdowns. What stood out to you from number 15?
Jauan Jennings is just a tough receiver. What I noticed today is that there was a very little jawing back and forth. I don't know whether he took it down a notch in his talking, or the other teams learned, hey, we can't chirp at him because we know he's going to chirp back at us. But Jauan Jennings just showing week after week how tough he can be. And I think just like him, Dominic Pooney, both of those 2 guys getting healthier as the season goes on with those injuries earlier on, they are playing so much better now that they're feeling healthier.
That's Jennifer Lee Chan live from Levi Stadium. Jen, thank you so much. We'll see you next week on Monday night from Indy against the Colts. Time for 49ers Overreactions, brought to you by Toyota. Here's the overreaction, Matt. I'll go to you first. With what we saw today from the 49ers, with no more Brandon Ayuk, the 49ers should sign Jauan Jennings long-term ASAP.
Well, of course they should. The problem is that they wanted to do that, and Jauan Jennings wanted them to do that leading into training camp and even in training camp, but the asking price was so high. But, I mean, we know the 49ers are going to have a need at wide receiver because the only one guy, really, that you know for sure who's been producing a little bit this year that we know is going to be back is Ricky Pearsall. Jordan Watkins is out there on the back burner, but, hey, Jauan Jennings is a huge part of this offense. If they can prevent him from hitting free agency, I'm sure they'll do it, but the price tag is going to be awfully high.
Obviously, you look at the touchdowns, they're extremely important. I thought, even though the Niners' run game still average-wise in the 3+ category, I thought Jauan Jennings was excellent in the run game as far as blocking, doing that job as well.
Tom?
I think, if you think that he's your next guy, then you got to sign him. But he makes plays. No, you can't, argue with that. But you love it when a player plays the way that he does. He's excellent in the run game, and then he's good target in the end zone.
With Brandon Ayuk being out of the picture for the foreseeable future, does he gain more leverage to negotiate his contract going forward?
Because the only other one they have is Parcell right now, is what we're talking about. So you got to have 2 guys at least, all right, going and then probably draft one.
Yeah.
You might even draft 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers have 7 picks right now in the first 4 rounds. And I think that, wide receiver is, if it's not at the top of the list, I think obviously edge rusher is an area that they'll address. But there's no way that Brandon Ayuk will be back with the 49ers. So there are some openings there, and they need to get that churn of wide receivers in there.
I remember the second Rams game where he had a fumble. And you said you're not going to see another fumble this year. You have not seen that from Juwan Jennings, and you've seen stellar play. So tip the hat to him all the way around.
That's true. Let's compare quarterbacks here on 49ers Postgame Live, brought to you by Toyota. This is the QB comparison. Not much to compare, really. I mean, one guy was tremendously efficient, and Brock Purdy, 23 for 30. Some similar numbers. The completion percentage, though, Matt, to me stands out because that number was way down for Brock this season. The attempts, yards per attempt, also going up. This was a very much 2023 Brock Purdy performance.
Yeah, it very much was. And, it's what the 49ers expected on the one side. Yeah, I think they thought that they'd feast against Cam Ward. They didn't sack him. They didn't put pressure on him. They didn't. He made too many plays. This was Cam Ward's best NFL game by far. And so that's something that the 49ers defense has to take a look in the mirror at. But, Brock Purdy was fantastic.
Like I said in the pregame, the baseline is what he did a couple of weeks ago in Cleveland and moving forward in an upward trajectory from that. Today he did that. His pocket movement, once again, for Brock Purdy was excellent. And I think we see the importance of him having 10 healthy toes because Brock Purdy being able to run, Brock Purdy being able to scramble is a much more dangerous quarterback than a Brock Purdy who's limited in that regard. The passes were crisp, they were accurate, they were decisive. He's almost up there to 10 yards in terms of per average in terms of throw, which is where he normally is in the 9s or the high 9s. So it looks like Brock Purdy is good to go for the stretch run.
What did you like the most about him today?
You see a quarterback rating?
Yeah.
140. That's championship
Is that good?
play. Championship play. You want all your players to play at that level. You know what I'm saying? So if he's the leader of the offense, all right, so they can run it, they can pass it. They're very good in the pass game. They need to be a little bit more efficient in the run game.
Right.
I think that'll come as we move forward to the playoffs.
And that's what Brock Purdy added this game.
But will it, though? I mean, we're getting up to week 15. And at this point, you ask yourself, you keep waiting. Yeah, the run game. No one's missing. Everyone's out there. Why isn't the run game working against teams that are neither good or bad? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't work so far.
Well, Brock Purdy did his part. He had the 26-yard scramble, longest run by a 49ers runner on the ground this season. But, that's an area that the 49ers really have to address. And if they haven't found it by now, you start to wonder if they ever will find that running game, that consistent 4, 5, 6 yards a pop.
We were having a laugh before we went on, and I was saying to Tom, I was like, to me, the run game looked like it was getting there. McCaffrey wasn't getting hit at or behind the line of scrimmage as much as he has this season, which has led to his season low in terms of yards per attempt. It looked to me like it was different, particularly in the first half. But, Tom, you said 3.3 yards per carry is 3.3 yards per carry.
Like a little bit more efficient in the run game, and 4-0 is an efficient run. So that keeps you ahead of the chain. Yeah.
I think what they need is better field vision for the 49ers. That's a segue, kids. This is Field Vision, brought to you by Zenni, the official eyewear of the San Francisco 49ers. Most points scored on opening drives this season, Rod. This team gets going early in games, and it's been tremendous for them.
Well, I mean, obviously, you're talking about a healthy quarterback, an entirely healthy offense, but to me, this is Kyle Shanahan, and this is a staple of San Francisco 49er football since the 80s. Scripting those plays and running that script, I think, is a big reason why the Niners are able to come out of the gate hot.
They should be up there. I mean, they should have one of the best offenses in the league. So, where they are among those teams, that's where they should be. That's what should be where they expect to be going forward this season. And, again, this is we always kind of viewed this game as kind of a springboard type of game to just get things right, to build some momentum going into the final 3 games and the playoffs. And I think they did that offensively. I'm not sure they did that defensively, but even within the offense, when they were finding some success in some areas, they still weren't able to run the ball as successfully as they had hoped.
Yeah, to me, what stands out, Tom, is go back to 2023. Those first opening drives were very physically imposing by the 49ers. This version is very much more efficient on third down. Today, third down efficiency was through the roof.
I mean, that's because they got a number 1 offense as far as throwing the ball. And, you got the number 1 quarterback, all right? So you put the ball in his hand to get it to the right person, and he's great at it. He goes through his progression. He's got the right drop.
Yep.
And we saw today that he can scramble, and a big run today. So
what do you want to say?
I want to shout out some
Bring
guys. Nice big catch by Kendrick Bourne late to end this game. DeMarcus Robinson sighting. That was
Early,
nice to see. We cannot have a conversation about the Niner offense and not talk about George Kittle. And it is an inline run blocking tight end that is an excellent, excellent pass catcher. So obviously Brock Purdy is going to get a lot of the headlines. We're wondering what's happening with the pass game. It was great to see Ricky Pearsall looking like a first-round draft pick, but George Kittle is an absolute indispensable part of this offense, and he proved it again today.
Yeah, he did. All right, let's check some more stats for the 49ers and what they did today. Check this out. Drive chart. The first 5 drives of the game, they all, Matt, led to scores. Some of them were scripted, the other ones weren't, and they still delivered.
Yeah, I think that where the offense is, this is the group. This is the group that they're going to have the rest of the season. These are the wide receivers. This is the tight end. This is the quarterback. And so the offense has to put it on their shoulders and say, whatever happens over there on the defensive side, you guys take care of your business. We'll take care of our side. And the 49ers offense did just that. I mean, they did what they had to do. I'm assuming Thomas Morstead gets a paycheck for this game.
He does.
That was only used for extra.
He had a
points
double
and
bye
goals.
week, but still he gets paid. It's the same.
I thought they were much more effective in the first half. They played, championship ball there. All right. And then in the second half, they got a little sloppy.
Complacent maybe because of the score?
Yeah. Just looking ahead. I don't know. I wasn't out there. But just what I saw, it was 2 different tells.
Right.
First half, second half.
All right. We're just getting started here on 49ers Postgame Live, brought to you by Toyota. When we come back, check this out. NBC Sports Bay Area Plus. This is where you can catch us. Stream 49ers Postgame Live on the NBC Sports app, plus on Xfinity 780. You have the stations and the numbers on your screen where you can catch us on 49ers Postgame Live, brought to you by Toyota. When we come back, Kyle Shanahan stops by. What does the coach think about today's performance? Also, Brock Purdy.
Pretty good.